Hey, so welcome back to Down Under Cruising and Travel. We've just got Tony this morning, Selena's a bit busy. Now this could be an interesting one for any of the new cruisers that are out there going on their first one. Now the footage you're going to see in the background, it's not a full ship tour of the Royal Caribbean Explorer of the Seas. It's just some of the things that you see when you go on a first cruise, when you're heading, in this case, heading out of Sydney. And many of the attractions and entertainment that they show on board. Now there's a lot of controversy at the moment over the bigger ships that they have here in Australia going up to the islands, and the fact that it takes so long to get on a tender and get into shore, like in Port Vila, Mystery Island, and people are missing out on a full day of entertainment and bookings that they've had booked. The smaller ships, they don't have that same problem. They can go in and they can dock in Vila. It doesn't take so long to get people ashore in Mystery Island. So it's just something to think about. Personally, I think that the likes of Royal Caribbean especially should bring back either a Voyager class or even maybe one of the other classes that they do have that are slightly smaller. It would save a lot of problems. Oh, big smile! For starters, on the smaller ships, the crew seem a lot friendlier and a lot more welcoming. The bigger ships, they still seem to be short on staff and the service just isn't as good. It doesn't really matter which one you go on, a large one or a small one. The entertainment is absolutely fantastic. The difference between a large one and a small ship is the small ships, they have the atrium right down the centre and they have a lot of entertainment in there. This is just the sail away party on the ship that we went on, Explorer. Now, they have all sorts of entertainment down there. They have big shopping displays where they bring up the tables and they bring out their t-shirts and their jewellery, watches, all of that sort of stuff. Another difference between a smaller ship like Explorer and the larger ships like Quantum and Ovation is that on the larger ships, apart from going up on the very top deck, you cannot walk around the outside of the ship and look out at the ocean. On the smaller ones, you can walk around virtually 4 or 5 of the decks. You can do a complete circle of the ship, wander around. You can sit out there in comfort. It really is a lot more personable, if you like. Now these shows that they have in the atrium, after you've had your dinner, which could be either a 5:30 or a 7 p.m. sitting, they'll have the main shows in the big auditorium, and then usually around about 10 or 10:30 they might have the 80s night, or it could be the British invasion. It could be any number of different types of shows that they'll have on here in the atrium. Now what you're going to see next was up in what was called the Jazz Bar. That's just some of the photos. Apologies for the blurriness, but they were actually like a 3D image. As you walk past them, they changed. It was really pretty cool. I spent a little bit of time up there just sitting, listening to the music, looking at the pictures. Really is amazing what they have on some of the ships when you actually go around and have a look at the small details. Now out on the pool deck, they have pool parties, they have movies at night, they have all sorts of different activities timed out there at various stages of the day or night. And then they also have the International Belly Flop Competition. Newbie game.
My goodness me, no pain, no game, as they say. Onwards and upwards, your next competitor. He's a farmer, he's a country bumpkin, coming to you from where's that? Victoria! 108 kilos, give it up for Pete! He's sexy and Okay, how long have you been training for, Farmer Pete? 20 years in life. 20 years in life? 20 years, 20 hardcore years. And Pete, do you have any last words that you want to tell us?
Someone get me beer after this play?
Can somebody please get this man a beverage? Here we go. Let's count him down in 3, 2, 1,
Now it doesn't seem to matter what ship you go on or what cruise line you go on. You can't have any entertainment without these guys that are coming up now. The village people. Now if you'd like to see us bring more hints, tips, ship tours, entertainment reviews, etc., please hit the like button, then subscribe and hit the bell. That way you'll stay up to date with everything that we bring out. Thanks for watching, but don't go away, there's a little bit more to come yet. Another feature on many of the Royal ships is an international size ice skating rink. Now all of the skaters you're going to see here are either international gold, silver or bronze medalists from the Commonwealth Games, the Olympic Games or the World Championships. Apologies for the darkness of the video, technically we weren't meant to be filming. Now this ice skating rink, you can skate on that during the daytime. They also cover it over and they set up an inflatable laser skirmish course in there. Now what you're seeing next is just by walking around some of the walkways where the cabins are. They have all these display cases in the walls on the Explorer, and I believe it's exactly the same on the Voyager of the Seas. These are artifacts that have been picked up from all of the ports at the destinations they've been to around the world. Apparently they're not just tourist replicas, a lot of them are genuine. I thought that was quite amazing that some of them were actually genuine. Most places they'd be replicas. But then there's something a little bit further on that I'm going to show you, which will blow your mind even more. Didn't really like that self-portrait of myself just there. Across here we're going into the library, which looks down into the main atrium. And a reasonably good range of books in there. Plenty of board games for the kids to play. Now this next bit that's coming up is some of the artwork that's shown around the walls. It is all the original first prints from the Annie Leibovitz collection. Now from what I've read in the newspaper from a travel writer, they did a deal with Annie Leibovitz to buy the complete collection of all of her first edition prints. because they were going to go up for auction when she went bankrupt, and they decided they wanted to keep them all in complete condition. Some absolutely amazing stuff. There's guitars mounted on the wall signed by Keith Richards and Mick Jagger. It's amazing, some of the stuff they have. Of course, for activities, you've got the climbing wall. You have the flow rider, just the same as the big ships. You have mini golf course. Of course, I won on that. And this is just an idea of some of the meals, appetizers, mains, desserts, that you can get in just the main dining room. This is not your specialty dining. So it doesn't really matter whether you go on a larger ship or a small one. Either way, you're going to get spoiled rotten. Personally, I think they need to bring back a smaller ship to go away with all the problems with tendering into ports. Bring back the enjoyment to cruising. Of course, you can't do it without the crew. In this case, Jamie, Mr. Boom, the back of house staff in the kitchen. Everybody was just so friendly. Had to fit in a selfie. Our main dining room attendants, Amade and Kotut. This was Gusti, our room attendant. That was my birthday cake. Selena waiting at the jewellery shop for a sale. And there's some stills of just some of the other entertainment they had on there. Food for thought. What are your thoughts, folks?